Matthew Vaughn, director of X-Men First Class and Kingsman, wants to reboot Star Wars to put more of a focus on the Skywalker family. Oh, hell no. Alright guys, so let's talk about this, because if there were ever a franchise or a movie out there that did not in any way, shape, or form need to be touched, need to be rebooted, just needs to be left alone because it is that good, it's Star Wars. And now, Matthew Vaughn actually was brave enough to say he wants to reboot it. I'm hoping he's kidding, but from the way this article sounds, he is dead serious. So, there are points that he makes that are fair. I will say that starting out, but still not justifying rebooting the whole franchise. He said that his hope would be that by rebooting the Star Wars franchise, he'd be able to share the things that he loved with a new generation of viewers while putting in more of a focus on Skywalker's family rather than all the other characters and spin-offs. Still a no for me. Now, he does mention that he realizes that the reboot would be controversial and that he would ideally make something so good that even the older viewers familiar with the original trilogy would enjoy it. That is a bold statement, and thank you for acknowledging the older viewers who have grown up with this. But no, we would not enjoy a reboot of Star Wars. Not going to happen. But thankfully, he doesn't have the rights to Star Wars. Disney does, and I don't see anybody allowing a reboot of this. But for him to talk not once, but twice now about wanting to do it makes me think that he's trying, although I don't think it's going to happen. He did say more about this, and he says, we fell in love with the Star Wars trilogy, and for him, it just doesn't work. It moves too far away from the Skywalker family, and he wants to see more about Luke, Leia, Han, and Chewie, and not so much about distant cousins and all this other stuff. So, I can see a small point that he's making about whether you want to look more into Luke and Leia, while, let's say, when Luke was on Tatooine with his aunt and uncle. What happened during that time? Or maybe even what happened farther down the Skywalker bloodline. I would like to explore that a little bit more. I think it's a little late now. We've had so many spin-offs and so many things happening that it just seems overwhelming at this point. But it's definitely not enough to want to reboot the whole franchise. Again, the characters are iconic. The people who played them are iconic. And there's no way you're going to reboot this with different characters, different actors, and think you're going to get the same success, because it's not going to happen. But this guy did mention it quite a bit, which is a little scary. Now, Disney Plus has definitely had their fair share of spin-offs with shows like The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and a handful more. So I think in that regard, we're good with the Star Wars universe, okay? And as far as the original movies, nobody needs to touch those. Just the thought of it, to me, is cringeworthy. But it doesn't overly surprise me that it talks to an interview or around a dinner table or something about rebooting a classic like Star Wars comes up. Just not this often when it comes to one particular person. So hopefully he's not going to actively pursue this. Even if he did, I don't think it's going to happen. Let me know what your thoughts are down below on possibly rebooting Star Wars. I have a feeling I already know what your comments are going to be, but I want to hear them anyway. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe button on your way out.